Good morning, friends. This is Emmy. I'm here in Michigan and it's still summertime and I've been on a wonderful, relaxing vacation. But I have something that I've been gelling, that I've been wanting to do with you, and today's the day. So you're here with me on Zen with Emmy on YouTube, and I'm so glad of that. Look what we're going to do. Isn't this a hoot? So I got really excited about picking blueberries when I got home because the blueberry bushes are absolutely loaded. So we're going to make a wreath with blueberries, and we're going to put a few other fun touches on here. And I got so excited I forgot to tell you, I hope you've grabbed a piece of paper about 4.5 by 4.5. Best quality, of course, you can. The nicer quality is going to smudge and do our shading a little better. So at least cardstock if you can. I've got a kiss for when I need some energy and some lovin'. I've got a mint in case I need to stop and think about what I'm doing, and that's when you put me on pause maybe. I've got my handy eraser, and I've got a couple of my Micron pens, which I dearly love, and I hope that you have some too. If not, any pen will do. Grab what you have. Here's one in color, because you know me in color. I can't resist. So here I've got my color one, and the blueberries are just gorgeous. But I just wanted to do black and white with you today, and gray, because there's a lot of choices in color, and that can kind of make you nuts sometimes. If you feel like adding it later, I sure hope you post it. Let me know how it went. Start by grabbing a piece of paper, as I mentioned, about 4.5 by 4.5. And then what I did is put a circle on here. With my pencil, I identified where the middle is. And then I laid my helix right on here. And then I marked it. See, there's markings on here. And I just went right around. But then you can see how I've got all these other kind of cool markings on my helix too. So let's begin. Now I do have a pencil on here, and that's going to serve as my guide and also for my wreath form. And you see how I've tried to leave enough room in between so that you can see my wreath underneath. And I think that's kind of like, if I were to do color, I'd make my wreath maybe some yellow, so like straw. Anyway, just ideas. The pattern we're going to start with today is blueberries, which is based on moonberries. And it looks like this. We've done this together, so if you found a video of what I've done in the past, they're quite largish. Somewhere in the middle, they have a star like this. And then we're going to go around it. And then at the end, we'll shade it. And we'll put these in clusters. So I'm going to do several clusters around here. And I'm trying, like I mentioned, to work quite largish. Some are going to go underneath the next one. I don't know if you've picked blueberries or not, but they certainly are ripe right now, aren't they? Oh my goodness, my husband and I had so much fun picking yesterday. In our yard, aren't we the luckiest? Now, they're not perfect, they're nature. So some of your blueberries will be off the edge. I'm going to do at least 4 clumps. Maybe a clump or 2 of just a 3 bunch. Like that. Goes underneath, as you can see. Work as large as you think you can. If they're much smaller, right, they'd be blackberries, not blueberries. Lay a few of these pretty berries on here. Clump them up. I have noticed, and I practice my patterns for you before we do ours together, that it's different every single time. which is the joy of it. You're going to want to make tons of these berries, I think, just as if you were picking them, right? And I reserve the right, as do you, to add more later. All right, now that I've got my berries, my basic on here, I'm going to go around and put those little stars in. I prefer to do all of them at once and then go back and add the circles around them. And I find that if I turn my tile, that I will be very happy with the fact that the blueberries are all kind of facing different directions as they reach for the sun. I didn't like the way that one, although we've already talked about this. This is nature. Maybe what happened is a bird tried to peck one of these, and we've also got a problem in our yard with turkeys. Turkeys like to climb in the blueberries. Unfortunately, they kind of break the branches once in a while, which is not cool. Very fun. How fast that goes. Go back now and go around each of them with kind of this wavy kind of a shape. If you followed any of my earlier videos on moonberries, or better yet, as I've showed you, follow Annie Reisers, because she's also the one who founded blueberries or moonberries. Take your time. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out. Very nice, very slowly. Don't hold your pen too tight. You'll like the way it looks if you just feather light with your pen. There, I love them. How about you? Aren't they the cutest ever? So we're going to add a pattern called Henna Drum, which is by Jane McCluger now. And Henna Drum is like this. Make a half crescent or a half a grain of rice. Put a line on top like that. And then look, I'm going to do a stick and a stick pretty close together. Another stick and a stick. Another one over here. And then one off of each end. And then I'm going to connect like that, like that. Oop, that's going right through her name. I'm so sorry, Jane. And then I like to put these whiskers in here, which she suggests along with other things. And these are kind of straight, so I like to put a kind of a curve toward the bottom. Like that. So you can look that up on tanglepatterns.com or any other which place by looking at her name. I'm going to choose an area and I'm going to put that very fun henna drum. I'm going to make a stick come out like this, back and in. And then off of it, I'm going to make that half crescent. And then I'm going to make the stick and the stick. 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then 1 and 1. Then I'm going to join them together. And of course you can make these as small or as large as you want. Whiskers to give it the illusion of a fold. I'm going to put a couple more in here too. Maybe I'll bring one out like this and come back behind, go through. How cool is that? Maybe you're already thinking of what color you might do this beautiful wreath in, if you choose to do color today. For some reason, these seemed fun to me in black and white, but also I thought that they would be fun in green shades. Try to have them not quite so straight. Isn't this fun? I just love it. Okay, I might make another come out of this bunch of blueberries here. Just like any wreath, there's no up or down. So it really doesn't matter what direction you make these, does it? You're the florist. And the artist today. Beautiful. That's a very fun arrangement there, and I have plenty of room for me to add in my wreath details later if I choose. I'm going to add a cluster of muka. Muka looks like this, and you might have seen it before. Come with a big rice grain like we started before, curve around like a candy cane, tight, let go, and come down. And I like to do a little bit of thickening here at the neck. It just makes it finished looking. No, you don't have to do that, of course. So let's make a few muka in an area, a whole cluster of them. Again, I'm going to use my blueberries for an anchor. I can't get over how different it is every time I do this fun wreath. I believe it's the act of going in a circle. I don't know what's going on, but I really quite like this. How about you? Ooh. And again, I've left enough room. Go back and darken, thicken those neck areas of this sweet pattern. For some reason gives it a bit of a finished look. I reserve the right to add a few more if I want a little later. I'm also going to do this pattern called Flux. Flux looks like this. If you haven't done it before, it's just a big teardrop with a couple of dots in the middle to identify as a fold. And again, I'm going to come off the blueberries. Try to work large. I also want to go around each of my blueberries clusters and add a bit of that flux here and there. Like they're leaves that got in your pail. If you've ever picked blueberries, you know what I mean. Oh, it's so pretty so far. I have a pattern that I can't find the name for, so I can't tell you the name. All I can tell you is how to make it. Start with an orb in the middle, or several orbs, and then I'm going to swing out. Again, I'm trying to work quite large here, and this is the beginning of a pattern called well, but we're not doing the pattern called well. What I'm going to do is turn this into hearts, like that. And then I'm going to go back and maybe do one or two whiskers. So you see how that kind of hangs off the one. Like, watch again. I use this to pull up and then branch off with my heart and back in. It's so cute. And I just thought it was a perfect little flower because we don't have a lot of room, as you can see. And I wish I could remember the name of it. I have an idea what it is, but I'm not positive. So let's not get it wrong. I'm going to put that right in this area because it just looks like it might be a good area for it. Don't know. Hang those 4 or 5. Nobody's going to fuss at you if you decided to do 5 or more. And then aura, or come up on the first one, and a couple of sticks. Do this again. Come up, heart off. Follow along with the first line. And again with this next one. Oh, there's a lot of cool patterns you could do on our beautiful wreath. So if you come up with something else, I'm real happy about that. And I hope you take the time to show me on Emmy's Zen Friends or wherever you want to post. I'm going to make another one. And that one's going to go behind using that technique. And I think I really only have room for the 2. You might have room for more, and that's awesome. And the last thing I want to do is, maybe I know what I want to do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Rixty. This is a pattern by Headquarters. Looks like this. Make a line and aura that line. Come out on either side and make a triangle like that. Darken the triangle. And then come out like this. And there's a couple other versions of that too, but that is basically Rixty by Headquarters. Let me show you where I added it on this other tile. I can't. Didn't add it on that other tile. Okay, I'm going to put it right in here. and it's going to kind of go on a vine a little bit. Do a double line. Bring it off. Stick and a stick around like that. And then aura this. Is that as cute as it can be? Let's do a few more. This one is going to be a little bit different. Top it off this time. This time go like this, down below. It's always fun to do new and different things, isn't it? And if you look up Rixty, you may find a version that looks like what I've just showed you. Top, down on either side, darken, and then aura around. Let's do a couple more of these in this region here. That one's different again, isn't it? Wow, I'm just having a real different morning here. Oh well. That's a double aura. I love how that looked. Yours probably isn't going to look like mine. I think variations are the spice of life, and I hope you agree. Take your time, pause me where you need to. I think this kind of a pattern is a real good one for needing some space on my wreath. Fun, fun, fun. Very whimsical, don't you think? Alrighty, I'm happy, really happy with this. Before I erase some lines, I'm going to go ahead and in between all of these flowers that I've created, I'm going to do a series of lines. Many of them are going to be broken, and that's good. I'm going to have to go around a couple times probably. And what I'm trying to do is lift my pen many, many times so that I can give you the illusion, myself the illusion too, of that wreath that is underneath and holding all these beautiful patterns in place. If you made that original one dark enough, you'll be able to see where this wreath is, the straw pretend wreath that we have here, illusionary. And I want to do this so that I can erase that line and go ahead and add a bunch of shading today. I want this wreath to be a lot wider. So you can see wherever I have the original line, that's what I'm going to go over. And then you always should stop and take a look periodically at what you've done with your work, because you're going to find some lines that like this. Now I can see, hold it up, I can see that I went way out here and not here. Where else? Straighten my wreath out. Very thin down here. Again, I'm working very feather light with my pen. I don't need to work real heavy. And I do want these lines to be like crossing over like you would see with a wreath. You wouldn't see all this perfection. And I probably am going to come back to this a few more times. Maybe you do that with your work too. Let's see, let's see. Pretty good. This is a little wonky here. Straighten that out, straighten this out. Isn't this fun? I hope you like yours too. That seems a little wonky, but maybe not. Maybe it needs to be just a little wider there. Yeah. Okay. Time to get my eraser out. I just use a gum eraser. And I want to erase all those lines. Mine are a little bit dark, but I don't want my blueberries to have lines in the middle of them. There we go. That was fast. And now I want to get it, well, it's handy if I need it again. Grab your pencil. Any pencil will do. And I'm just going to go all the way around and put a comma in the corner of these berries to begin with. I want to make sure I don't miss any berries. That's why I'm just doing that first. I like to get all of my graphite on, and then I'm going to go back after I get my graphite on, and I'm going to add all of my rest of my shading, because there usually is a lot of shading. Ooh, it looks so pretty. Get some graphite on the flux and on the Muka here in a little smile in the front of it. See how I'm doing that? Just lay a little smile on there. Same thing with this heart, kind of a flower that I made. And maybe I'll make a little in there too, in the middle. Nothing here, but I think I'll go on the back of this. Shading's in the eye of the beholder, as you may have heard before, and there are a lot of ways to shade. So know that you won't have that wrong. And you do have your handy eraser if you need to get rid of anything, if you got too much shading on. Keep going. Darken around the back of the vine. And maybe the top of my Rixty. And then here I am. Hope that spinning doesn't bother you too much. There, I'm back at the start. What have I missed? I definitely want to pick a blueberry out of each cluster and darken around it. Maybe we'll do more. But see how I'm literally going around the entire berry. This way, it's going to pop off the page when I get the shading laid on here. There you go. Shading is super important to our drawing. I want to have some other things pop up too, but let's start seeing what's happened with the shading first before I go any further. I want to do a little behind the Muka. I want that to pop too. And this. where it's on the wreath. Where it lays on the wreath is where I want to lift it up. So then I'll do a little here too. You see, I'm being pretty heavy-handed with my shading. Now, I'd suggest you try that, see if that technique works for you. Be a little heavy-handed. See if you like it. I'm going to go, this is laying on the wreath, so I'm going to have it pop off here. And this one too. Darken, darken. So that's for a different reason than I want that middle berry to kind of show up, come to the party. I can always add more, or I can take away. Grab your blender stump, if you have one, or your tortillon, and smudge. Do some smudging here. Now remember, the idea is to have 3 colors now. You've got your black pen, you've got your white paper, and the third thing we have is our gray, which is our shading, which adds our dimension. It's so pretty. Nice, nice, nice. So you see there isn't much to do with that, the blueberries. I want that blueberry to pop. That one too. And then thicken that smile that you have here. Hard to get shading wrong, so have faith in yourself. Get that one to lay. Smudge, smudge. Mukatu. Take it around. You have a lot of shade on your blender stump now. You might feel you need to add more. Or you might want to get your eraser out and get rid of a little. Your call. You're looking at your own drawing, not mine. Well, maybe you're looking at mine too, I hope, for the idea of it all. You see how I've kept that pretty tight here. If you use the right paper, you really do have a lot to work with as far as shading goes. Some paper just doesn't shade very well. Use the nicest cardstock or whatever you can. How fun is this? Oh, I got to get rid of that dot in the middle. That was very important. How, this is so pretty. Okay, grab a pen. Put your initials in the corner somewhere. Take a minute and admire the beautiful work you did. It's so pretty. Here's a Zen button that I did one time. That was a hoot. I really liked that on brown. And that with the color. That was fun too. So please take time to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. This is Emmy on YouTube, and please come back again and let me know with your likes and your comments and joining my YouTube channel that you enjoyed today. Thank you so much. Bye.